I don't like to waste time.
Yeah.
That's a big thing with me. And if she has that mindset, for me with my values, that's a red flag for me. Somebody else might be okay with that, but that means that I would have to some convincing to do with her. Like
Hmm.
if I can sit here and tell you that I've been working my whole life to build what I have, and this is the reason why I want a prenup, and you still have something to think about, I don't have time for it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Investors Playbook Show. Today, as always, we have our co-hosts Deshaun and Cornell. Cornell, how you feeling today, my guy?
I'm feeling great, man. Beautiful day, beautiful life. I got nothing to complain about, bro. What about yourself?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain. Can't complain. Bro, you had a whole week off, right?
I had a whole week off, bro.
Was you
And
productive?
this was an extremely productive week. I'm proud of myself, bro. I missed 2 days in the gym over 10 days. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You missed some days when you didn't have to work.
Bro, you need rest days. I'm not just gonna go to the gym 10 days straight.
I'm messing with you, bro.
But what's dope is I'm in a mindset where it's like I don't even think about rest days. Like it's really when my body just gets to, bro, like why am I feeling like this? Then I realize I just been in the gym every day and I
Yeah,
need to take a break. So like
yeah.
I like the mindset I'm in and I just want to continue it, bro. What about you?
No, same, man. I think this day has been extremely busy for me. Like, not off work. But just getting back from a trip and then diving right back into work, man, I'm telling you, it just felt like a lot of deadlines was this week. But of course, I knocked them all out. But still, I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of a stressful week and regarding, the 9 to 5 stuff, only because there was, again, a lot of deadlines that needed to be accomplished. So there was a couple of late nights where I was up still working. Um, and but hey, look, we got through it. You know what I mean? Like,
Early.
and the only reason I said that is because I missed way more days than you did in the gym this week. You feel me? Like, yeah, I went yesterday and getting back into it, but it was just like, man, this is not an okay feeling. I'm like, man, let me just go ahead and knock out the things I need to knock out. But now, again, things have died down as they tend to do. You got waves when it comes to this work stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why, man, we just got to become 100% entrepreneurs, man. We could
For
be on our own time. You feel
For
me?
hey, for sure, man. Like, cause I was just talking to someone, cause like most people that you tell that retirement is the goal, they're always like, "What are you gonna do?" Like anything I want. What kind of
Yeah,
question is that, man? Like I
literally,
focus on myself. Anything, literally.
literally, you could do whatever you want to do, right? Like you have time to do anything you want because you're not working towards anyone else's goals at that point. Well, depending on your situation, you're not working towards a 9 to 5's goals anymore. It's just you with people you care about and the things that you care about, right? Like after you let that go. But yeah, man, it was a good week though overall. You feel me?
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. A good weekend too. This weekend I definitely got to rest. I got to go to the gym. I got to come back home and just relax, do some cooking. Um,
For
just
sure. So I wanted to bring something up because this isn't a show that I've watched myself, of course, but I'm not really big on shows. But
mm-hmm.
there's a show called Love Is Blind, right?
But you
And
don't watch Love Is
apparently,
Blind? No, I'm just playing.
yeah, nah. So, like, there's this guy that's undergoing a lot of scrutiny because he is announcing his wealth, right? And I guess this is looked down upon to do too early in the dating phase. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what are your thoughts about when to bring up wealth, if you even do that, or how much you make when it comes to the dating phase?
I think bringing up wealth when, first of all, bringing up wealth without even being asked, it's it's almost depending on who you are. Like if you're a guy, if you're a woman, I think bringing up wealth is either a way to like stunt if you do have wealth. I mean, that's the only reason why I think anyone would bring it up. They wouldn't bring it up and be like, "Yeah, I ain't got no money." Just so you know, I imagine if anyone is bringing up wealth, they're bringing it up because they're doing it to show or like to peacock, right? Like, look at all this money I got. Look at all this money I got. I personally think that bringing up wealth when you're just dating can kind of create this skewed view. If you want them to know how much money you have, you're probably also in the mindset of this is how much money I can spend on you. That's what I translate that to, right? So me personally, I'm like, you can know what kind of job I got. That's as far as we can go. But I haven't dated in a grip, but when I was, it was like, yeah, I do engineering, and everyone imagines, oh, you're an engineer, you make a lot of money. I mean, you can Google how much an engineer makes, but I'm not saying this is how much money I make, this is how much money I have. No, I think that's way more important when you are in a relationship with someone. You know what I mean? That's when you start talking about finances because you're starting to talk about growth. But in the beginning, nah. It goes as far as this is what I do for a career. I invest. That's about it, though. What
You
about
know, I think I have an opposing view.
you? Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, I think that um, money in general should be brought up before I'm getting in a relationship with someone because I have to make sure that they're okay with prenup for one. Because I worked my whole life to get to where I am, and I'll be damned if I get into it like marriage and then something goes wrong and they take half. So I feel like if they're not on board with that, then they're not even an option. You get what I'm
No,
saying?
so that I agree with, and I guess maybe I misunderstood. Were you saying like bringing up the conversation of how they feel about money, or telling them how much money that I have or make?
I feel like me bringing up a prenup is an automatic signal that there's something in the bank
Yeah, possibly,
because
possibly.
people in a certain uh in a certain net worth are not talking about prenups.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? I feel like you shouldn't even be thinking about a prenup if you don't have over 50,000 in a bank. Cause why? You see what I'm saying? For
that's
what?
facts. That's facts. I mean, it. Yeah, I, I feel like it goes a lot deeper than that because it could be you're signing a prenup because your parents you might inherit wealth later on in life. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be money that you have now. I don't exactly like know the intricacies of as far as you inheriting money in a prenup, but I agree with what you're saying. If you are talking about a prenup, you're in the mindset of you have a lot of wealth that you necessarily aren't ready or don't want to just split if things don't work out with this other person. Um, well, let me ask you this though: you you're currently dating, not someone, but like you're in the dating realm, right?
For
Have
sure.
Have you brought that up,
Yes.
and how has that conversation went?
It's actually never gone bad. That's the
Good.
crazy part. It's actually never gone bad. The prenup conversation never gone bad up to this point. But also, I'm not dating people that where it looks like the person is after money. You see what I'm saying? Like if somebody looks like they're really into material things and they're splurging on, that's not even who I'm looking at.
Not your type, regardless. Yeah.
It's not
No.
my type.
Yeah.
So most of the people I am getting even that I'm even vetting out are not on that type. It doesn't seem like they're on that type of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I haven't
So
had
let
one
me
yet.
ask you this though: why is it so taboo? Like what this guy did on the show, you said he brought up his wealth. Why do you think he's getting so much backlash? Do you think that, as far as telling someone how much wealth you have and saying, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, did he also say he doesn't want someone who's just dating him for his money or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a little backwards
It's
thinking.
like right, because why tell someone if you're just like, hey, I'm loaded, but I don't want anybody that's gonna like keep it
how
a
do you
secret.
how do you even vet people after that, right? Like after you tell them that you have a bunch of money, what then lets you know that this person's not dating you for money? You feel me?
Mm.
Like, is it that they don't ask you to pay for dinner? Is that they pay? Like, what is that? I don't even know how that's defined. right? So that is a bit confusing.
It's it's like he's using his money to get women, but doesn't want women to act a certain way once they know. So it's
That's
like
what I was
wanting
saying
to have
earlier.
your cake and also eat it. Like
Yeah,
it's basically that.
yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. If you're saying how much money you have, you're probably saying this is how much money I can spend on you. But if you're not thinking that, you shouldn't even bring up the fact that you have money in general. Like why? It's it's a bit confusing. But yeah, I think even with dating now, like money is just one of those taboo conversations. And we talk about that a lot too on this podcast and on this show. Why money is one of those conversations that people are uncomfortable with. And my answer, this is my hypothesis, is that people are uncomfortable with things that either they're still like working on, they have yet to obtain, right? Because a lot of people don't want to talk about money because they're not in a good financial situation in that moment, right? So when someone does bring up finances and the person doesn't reciprocate, do you think that that ends up becoming someone who is like can someone learn how to talk about money? Like can that person grow? Or for you, if you did talk about the prenup and there was like, I don't really want to talk about that right now. Is that like an automatic no? You're good. How does that
Yeah,
work?
because why would? Because I don't like to invest my time into things. I don't like to waste time.
Yeah.
That's a big thing with me. And if she has that mindset, for me with my values, that's a red flag for me. Somebody else might be okay with that, but that means that I would have to some convincing to do with her. Like
Hmm.
if I can sit here and tell you that I've been working my whole life to build what I have, and this is the reason why I want a prenup, and you still have something to think about, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I don't have time. Like it's
Real.
a wrap.
Yeah. That's real. All
But
right. So what about after the dating phase? When do you expect them to talk to you about their finances? How long does it have to be before you say, all right, we are getting a little more serious. Let's decide on what we plan on doing. Because is this going to be a situation where I'm paying for most of the things, or how does that work?
I think like
After,
before the person moves in.
before the person moves in?
Yeah, just before the person moves in. I
Yeah,
don't really have
yeah.
like a time frame for it. What about you? What do you think?
No, I agree. Anything when you all are like living separately, because that's still dating, right? But when you start to take that step and you start to get a lot more serious, moving in, I think, is kind of a huge step. I mean, it's an easy reversal, but it's still a huge step, you know.
Yeah,
So when you start talking about that, when you're talking about sharing or not sharing expenses, depending on the situation, some people be like, "All right, I'm gonna move in, and you're gonna continue to pay all the bills and I'm just going to take care of the household." Like everyone's situation is different, right?
hmm
This is not a show where we tell people how to deal with their personal relationship finances. However, whatever works best, right?
right,
But
for you and your partner.
I do think that conversation has to happen, right? Because
For sure.
the moment you start to assume is when you start to make yourself look like a you know what. You feel me?
Hmm
And there's never a time when you should ever assume when it comes to finances, because that is one of the biggest reasons why relationships end up failing so much, is because there's
I think
misunderstanding.
I think it's the biggest. I
Yeah.
think finance is the number one
Yeah. It's
reason.
misunderstandings, people not saying what is or hiding things and like, or just blatantly lying about what they have or what they don't have, you know? And that in itself can just lead to terrible situations down the road. So yeah, I
And
think having a sit down conversation is important right around that time when you're deciding to, you know, cohabitate.
and because having a partner that does not have the same values as you can set you back tremendously.
Yeah.
It like so just keep that in mind. Like if you're okay with your woman taking care of the household, she gets to keep whatever money that she has and splurging. That's cool if that falls in line with your values. But if you're on a work together type tip when it comes to finance. Y'all working together in the financial realm, and she's not thinking on that level, and I see this a lot actually, and she's
Hmm.
not thinking on that level. Just know that could put a damper on what you have going on, your goals, anything financially that you would like to happen in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, we're saying she's just because we both guys, but it could definitely work the other way around, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I've seen that too, actually.
like it could definitely work the other way around. It could definitely be um, a boss who is knocking things out, and then they end up meeting someone, a guy who is just not, or who has big dreams, aspirations, but his actions don't really match his words, and then before you know it, her progress starts to degrade a little bit because of the individual. So, yeah, man, just when it comes to these finances, I think a relationship can definitely multiply your gains if it's done with the right person. At that same time, it can also cut heavily into your
Divide.
progress. Yes, it can definitely divide if done with the wrong person.
Mm,
I think that deciding who you want to be with for the rest of your life, marriage, it's a very, very important decision, right? Like, because conversations like a prenup, conversations like um, how you intend to split the household expenses, even like moving further and talking about like children and all that, like all those things matter. You know what I mean? Like having those financial conversations matter, right? So yeah, I think that having those conversations sooner than later are important, especially those uh, non-negotiables, as you would say, right? Like
mhm.
bringing up the fact that, hey, look, if we were to continue this, just know that I am going to expect you to sign a prenup and see what they say or how they react, because
Right.
that again can save a lot of time. You know.
Yeah, and if yeah,
Hmm.
and like I put an explanation
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
around
It's
it
not
also.
like
I because there are some people that will see that as, oh, so you just think we're not gonna work. So like,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so because I guess some people see that as okay, it's like you're preparing for us not to work, but really it's just in my head, it's just me because anybody that gets into a marriage, they're not expecting it to fail, but also a lot of marriages fail. So
yeah,
this is just a contingency plan in case. I just want to make sure that we're both protected.
yeah,
Like you have all your belongings when you before you came into the marriage, and I have all mine. Anything in the marriage, I'm okay with. I understand we split. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, I get it. You
yeah,
still contribute to the household in some way.
yeah,
But
yeah,
anything before, especially before I even met you,
yeah.
you shouldn't have, in my opinion, you shouldn't have entitlement to things that I had before you even met me.
Right. Stuff you worked on together is different.
Right. Right.
Definitely different. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like that goes like as you were talking. I'm just thinking like we don't expect to get in car crashes, but we have airbags. We don't expect to, our house to something bad to happen to our house, but we have insurance. It's the same mentality. It's just two humans, so it brings that emotional
Right.
humanistic side to it where it's like, oh, you think that we're not going to work? Like, no, we're just treating this like any other situation where something can go wrong. And it
Right.
could even be like not within our, you know, power. Like it could be something completely out of our control. So yeah, I think that bringing up finances, non-negotiables is important while you're dating. More
Mhm.
importantly, bringing up financial mindset conversations and understanding how they feel about money, what their thoughts are about money. If they are a materialistic type person, or if they are someone who is open to learning about investing, if they aren't doing it, or if they are already investing, maybe y'all can learn from each other if you do bring up that financial conversation early. Um, but in a relationship, when you're starting to build with someone, you definitely got to get more personal. Like
Yeah, for
talk
sure.
about the number in the bank. You know what I mean?
And that's why y'all are dating, to get to know each other, like all aspects. Yeah, of course, not just financial, but financial is important.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to know health, finance, your family. I want to know all that before
Uh,
we. You
not
see
not
what I'm
just your
saying?
favorite color in your favorite TV show. I want to.
Yeah, like you got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Well. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. As always, we coming at you every week with a new episode. Cornell, I think we wrapped it up. We good for
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
today? Yeah, man. So let us know what y'all think. How do y'all feel about bringing up finances early in the dating phase? Is that something that you do? Is that something you stray away from? What has your experience been when bringing up finances? I feel like we need to run this back and get another person on the pod, someone with um, someone that's not just me or you, right? Like
For sure.
some queen energy to see what they think about it. Because I know that me and you, we do have a bit of the same thought process when
Hmm.
it comes to this, but I do definitely want to hear from a woman and see what they think about bringing up finances because it could be a completely different thought process. It could be the same. I don't know.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, we might have to run this one back. But
I agree.
yeah, man, great pod, great episode. So look, we're gonna catch y'all next week. Um, and yeah, we appreciate y'all for listening, tuning in. Catch y'all later.
Peace.